Hey, everybody. This is Under the Arc Sports. I'm Eric.
I'm David.
And I'm Johnny.
Johnny is brand new to Under the Arc Sports. He is going to be our expert on the SLU Billikens, but today we are here to talk about St. Louis Blues hockey. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and find us on Facebook and on Instagram. Guys, hockey's back, man. Blues are, you know, there's every reason to think they could be a contender, right?
Oh yeah, easily. I think
Yeah,
they've improved.
They have most of their pieces back. It'll be interesting to see how they come out and play, especially with a short training camp. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of rust.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of sloppy first couple of games. Especially later in the games. I'd imagine guys are not going to be in peak shape yet. But you know what? That's fine.
It's a little scary. Like a short camp. It's just super scary. I think you can hit on all sports with that right now too. So it's crazy.
Yeah, we just have to watch out and avoid the injuries, especially with a short camp.
Yeah, one thing for Blues fans to realize is that as far as fans in the stands in St. Louis, at least at the start of the season, it's going to be a limited number, whatever that number is, of fans. And those fans are going to be like the frontline workers, people in the healthcare profession. Those sorts of people are going to be given first dibs at seeing Blues hockey in person. As the Blues go on the road, it's basically going to be up to the city and state regulations for COVID. So going out to play the Kings or the Sharks, me playing in, I guess, an empty arena. Now, Dave and Johnny, let's take a look at some of the highlights of the Blues schedule. It's 56 games, so a little bit shorter of a season. Every game is going to be against teams within the Pacific Division. They're not playing anybody else in the regular season. And that starts on 13th. That is Wednesday and then Friday with 2 games at Colorado. And Dave, we were talking before we started recording. They have a real hard stretch against Colorado later in the season, right?
Yeah, April 20 to 24th, they're going to play Colorado, 3 straight times? And then right after that, they turn around and play Minnesota 4 straight games starting at the end of April and going through May.
And then, Johnny, the season's going to end a week later, the 7th and 8th, 2 games at Vegas.
Man, the one thing that I'm curious about, are they going to be ready, as in like what baseball did, as if like a player gets it, or are there going to be young guys ready to go? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm like so worried about, the shortened camp and everything. So if they could get all that under control, I'm pretty confident we can make a pretty deep, take care at least for like those 3 game sets, 2 out of 3 at least, hopefully, you know what I mean? But I'm just a little worried.
It really is almost like looking at a baseball schedule, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Where, with this 3-game series against Colorado, maybe you're looking at trying to win the series like you would in baseball. Maybe the Blues take the first 2, and that 3rd game, maybe Craig Berube treats it like a getaway day. And maybe, some of the key guys get a little less ice time. It's interesting. You could do that, but at the same time, there's still only 56 games, and every point is magnified.
It's also going to be interesting to see how the NHL handles when teams come down with cases too, if they come down with cases. The other thing to remember is with the vaccine starting to roll out, are the teams going to be able to get that vaccine soon so they don't have to worry about it?
Yeah. Now, the Blues do have a couple of new faces. Torrey Krug from Boston is kind of an undersized defenseman. He is probably not as good of a defender as Alex Pietrangelo was, but he is an offensive weapon back there. And then David Hoffman.
Mike Hoffman.
Mike Hoffman, formerly of the Panthers. What do you think about him?
I think it's a decent pickup. They were trying to replace some offensive power while Tarasenko is still on the injured list. What was it? Last year he scored like 29 goals and had 59 points. So while it's not a perfect replacement, it still provides some good offense, and it's not a bad deal. It's a 1-year, $4 million contract. So I think he's a good asset for the team, especially when Tarasenko might make it back into the lineup.
Yeah. Now, if the Blues are going to be successful, there's a few things that are going to have to go right. First and foremost, I think the most important one is, which Jordan Binnington are we going to see? Are we going to see the Binnington that was magical during the Stanley Cup run? Remember, last season, he was an all-star, okay? And it was after COVID where things really fell apart. He kind of got a little rusty as the season went on, but he was still pretty good. It was just after COVID, he kind of fell apart.
Yeah, I mean the whole team did. Let's just be honest. So it's like you said, which one are we gonna get? I think this is the year we really find out what he's made of. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I agree. And we've talked about it a little bit with Vladimir Tarasenko. He's on the shelf for now. He has been scheduled to be reevaluated in February. So first handful of games, for sure not having him. Maybe Tarasenko's back 10, 15 games in, but maybe not. How do the Blues how do they get offense? Is Mike Hoffman enough? And also, once Tarasenko is back, he was disappointed, guys, that he was not named captain when they gave the C to Ryan O'Reilly. And he was somewhat vocal about it. Was that just getting a little frustration out, or is that frustration going to be contagious, and is it going to affect him in the locker room or on the ice or anything like that? I don't think it will, but there's a chance that could have an impact.
I personally love it. I want my players to feel slighted, because Ryan O'Reilly strikes me as the type of dude that's gonna put his arm around, Sink and be like, "Hey, we ride together, we die together." So I think they're gonna hash that out. You know what I mean? I just like to see the fire. Well, me knowing that the fire's still there tells me that he's gonna come back and try to play as hard as ever. And that's what he needs to prove, because we haven't had him. So he's got a lot to prove.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Now, obviously, with COVID, the Blues have to be flexible. The Blues were an absolute train wreck up in the Edmonton bubble. And, there's no telling if that was, the team just had something go wrong, or maybe Craig Berube is just horrible at managing a hockey team during a worldwide pandemic. I can't get too mad at him for it, but that there's going to have to be flexibility. Maybe someone tests positive and a couple of guys are out. And you got holes on the roster for a week or two. The team has to be flexible. And then guys, we mentioned a couple minutes ago, it's 56 games, so it's just over half a season. So every game is crucial. So to a certain extent, they can't hold back.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room to find their forechecking and their offensive game, if you will. They need to get it, and they need to get it quick.
And hopefully that power play got a little better.
Yes. Yeah, that power play at times, you'd have an arena full of Blues fans just wishing they would decline the penalty.
I wish it was football in a sense, you know.
Been there, done that.
like decline it every time.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, y'all. Just some final thoughts for the Blues. The division's loaded. Looking at the Pacific Division, you have Colorado. You've got Vegas. I mean, just those two, along with the Blues. You could be third place in your own division and be the third best team in hockey. So
don't forget the talent Phoenix has. Then they might not be quite there yet, but they're going to be tough. And Minnesota's always tough.
Yeah,
they always play us tough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolutely loaded schedule. I don't know. You guys got any final thoughts?
It's gonna be a fun year. It's gonna be exciting. Yeah, can't wait.
I'm just glad to have hockey back, and I'm ready to watch some games.
Absolutely.
So it goes all the way. So you're gonna be baseball, like we always do. So hopefully things will get back to normal. We'll have some hockey and baseball in June.
Oh, that would be great.
That's something that, like, in this world of COVID, that hadn't even crossed my mind that, in 4 months, maybe enough people have been vaccinated that they start opening things up where maybe St. Louis is hopping in 4 months. People going to a Blues game and then going to a Saturday night Cardinal game and going to Ballpark Village after. Who knows?
Well, and they will after being stuck.
A guy can wish.
Yep. Yep. It'll be a fun year.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all we have for Under the Arch Sports. Remember to check our Facebook and Instagram pages, and thank you for watching.
See y'all next time.